Jimmy found an ancient mysterious bottle floating at sea. Believing it contained treasure, he eagerly twisted off the cap. Instead of riches, an eerie laugh emerged from the bottle. Terrified, Jimmy quickly threw it away. Within seconds, black smoke poured out, forming into an enormous figure. When it cleared, the giant stood nearly 330 feet tall, wearing only massive red boxer shorts. Jimmy had never seen such a huge human before and fell backward in shock. The giant was far from friendly. Having been trapped in that bottle for thousands of years had twisted his mind. He swore to crush whoever freed him to release his long-harbored rage. As the giant lifted his unwashed, foul-smelling foot toward Jimmy, the quick-thinking young man scrambled out of range just in time, grabbing onto the giant's yellow toenail despite the stench. Jimmy begged for mercy. The giant had no intention of sparing him, and raised his foot again. Suddenly, Jimmy had an idea. Someone your size could never fit inside that tiny bottle, he said. You must not have any real powers. This taunt infuriated the giant, who couldn't bear having his abilities questioned. To prove himself, he transformed back into white smoke, and streamed into the bottle. Jimmy's trick had worked perfectly. He picked up the bottle and mocked the giant for having an IQ of only 20. As he prepared to throw the bottle back into the sea, condemning the giant to eternal imprisonment, the trapped being panicked. After drifting at sea for thousands of years, he desperately wanted to remain free. If you release me, the giant pleaded, I'll grant you 3 wishes. Jimmy decided to free the giant, but his first wish surprised everyone. He simply wanted a plate of sausages. The giant seemed exasperated by this mundane request, but felt obligated to fulfill it. Sausages appeared in his hand, and Jimmy ate them with great delight, while the giant watched with a suspicious gleam in his eyes. For his second wish, Jimmy explained that his friend, King Jack, had been falsely accused by the Queen's brother and imprisoned. He asked the giant to help find and rescue his friend, restoring him to the throne. The giant claimed they needed a ruby from a sacred temple to locate the king. Suddenly taking flight, the giant extended his hand. Jimmy quickly grabbed the giant's braid to avoid falling. They flew for what seemed like ages before reaching the temple. The giant left Jimmy at the entrance, where the security guards fled in terror at the sight of the enormous being. Jimmy spotted the ruby atop a statue that towered hundreds of feet above him. Unable to reach it himself, he was surprised when the giant blew a gentle breath that lifted him up to the statue. Unknown to Jimmy, guards were hiding nearby, waiting to attack. The giant planned to use their ambush to kill Jimmy, which would free him from servitude forever. Fortunately, Jimmy found a large knife and prepared to defend himself. Upon reaching the statue, Jimmy noticed the ruby on the goddess of mercy's head. Planning to take it, he jumped onto the statue but was unaware of the dangers ahead. As he climbed a massive spider web, a giant spider silently approached from behind. Frightened, Jimmy scrambled upward, nearly slipping into the grasp of an ancient squid demon waiting below. Thanks to his strength, Jimmy pulled himself up. When the spider attacked,